to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light.
Hello. Welcome to yet another flight out of Israel. We are at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, near. This is geography killing me again. I'm not entirely sure if Tel Aviv is the capital of Israel. If it's not, I'm sorry, but I'm under the impression that it is. Hello, Andrew. Evening. So we're taking this beauty today, the Airbus A350-900 by Inibuilds. This is a fictional paint available in Flight Sim It has some inaccuracies, even though it's a fictional paint. Then the winglets are incorrectly painted red with a green stripe that resembles nothing. From TAP Portugal, there's also some issues right there. You can see it there. This line here, another line there. The paint job is a mess. It's not exactly accurate. Plus, it uses the CS Tango Uniform Fox, which belongs to an Airbus A330 in real life. It's missing the Air Portugal here. The newer planes are all Air Portugal, just like you see here. Font is incorrect, but let's not pay attention to those small details, all right? Let's enjoy the flight on this beautiful plane. So we're looking for the fuel pressure. Well, you can barely see the cross there. The fuel tank pressure indicators. You can barely see the cross. It's there. You can barely see it. Yeah. Now, I love the A350 in real life. Not really a great fan of this plane in Flight Simulator for several reasons. Most of them related to bugs that Inibuilds just seems unable to fix. But hopefully we'll not see them today. But most of the times these bugs are... Oh, there's another glitch there. These things cannot be painted. See, something messed up here. Yeah, look at that. It's totally incorrect. These cannot be painted. Well, again, this paint job is full of inaccuracies. I've already pointed several of them to the maker, but he doesn't seem interested in fix them, so might as well one day just pick up the files and correct them myself, just for the sake of having a correct paint job. Um, Funny enough, I was just noticing that the plane parked in a 767 parking spot, which is ironic. It's a bit bigger than a 767, but it is what it is. Most airports need to be updated for the newer airplane types. So again, in inspection, we're looking at the fuselage. Currently, we're looking into our brakes. They seem okay. No leakages. Brake pads look okay-ish. Yeah, they look okay. I'm looking at this gray area here. Those are the brake pads. So if they get worn out, they need to be replaced. Of course, we need to request a replacement. Yeah. So is the one of the outlet valves probably for the air pressurization, cabin pressurization. This panel doesn't look correctly painted. It should be white, I think. Yet another issue with this plane. There's the APU. No need to open them. We're just servicing them just to have a quick look. In fact, I've noticed that. Hello, Misha. Good evening. I've noticed that this plane now suffers with a little delay in terms of features compared to the A340. Now, when you open that panel over there for the APU on the A340, you get the whole scaffolding for it. This one does not, and I can see that there's some floating debris here. Can you guys see it? I think it's part of the paint. Look at that. It's also there. This line here. I think this is something with the paint. Not sure. It does look weird. Could be the model. I'm not sure. Well, so yeah. Some of the things that are missing. Now this plane, I don't think it has tire wear and tear like the 340 does have. See the pads? They should be worn out as well. Same with the ones in the front. Right, let's check. We'll go back to the engine. Let's just check the fuel tank indication here just to confirm. There's a cross. I believe there should be two crosses, this one and this one. But this one does indicate a cross there. It means that the fuel tanks were not overpressurized in the last few pressurizations. All right, the engine looks good. Look at that big Rolls-Royce logo. Yeah, it looks fine. No debris, no nothing. There's no wind. Actually, the weather today in Ben Gurion is very, very good for flights. We're not going to fly with real time today. We're going to fly with in the morning, 8 o'clock or something. But there will be real weather, so we will see real weather. So again, don't mind the inaccuracies of this paint job. It's not the intention to showcase this. This is a fictional paint job. It has a lot of inaccuracies, as you saw, but let's not dwell into that for now. So let's go inside. Let's have a look at our plane and let's prep the flight, shall we? All right, so here we go. No Betsy. Sorry about that. Let's prep our flight by running our checklists. I do have A350 checklists, I think. But this plane has electronic checklists, so we'll use the plane's own checklists. I'll just run some memory items. So parking brake is on. Flaps are up. Spoilers retracted. Weather radar. This plane has an automatic system, but it is off because it's not powered. There's a knob here to turn it on. Predictive wind shear as well. Engine master 1 and 2 are switched off and off. Engine mode selector set to norm. Thrust levers are on idle. So just confirm I have full travel. Oh, crap. Hold on. My controllers are turned off. I need to turn them on again. Not entirely sure this will work with Flight Sim, but let's see. Now, if I turn them all on, oh, there we go. Boom. Do I have control now? Oh yeah. All right. And the stick as well, and the pedals. All right, we're good to go. Sorry about that. It was my mouse. So let's see. Full travel. Climb. Man flags. Toga. All right, we're good. And gear is down. We just saw it sitting on the floor, as well as the wipers are both off. Off and off. All right. Cockpit pre-flight checklist complete. Let's give it some power, shall we? Battery, 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 and battery. So we got two batteries, BAT 1 and BAT 2, plus two emergency batteries. So it's quite a redundancy. And we can see those beneath the flight deck right here. Right. So it's power on self-test. We only do this to allow the self-test, but we can easily just go into external power directly. Cruise supply on, ground control on auto. Actually, it's on. We can leave it on auto. It's conducting its own tests. We'll also be conducting a few. All right, looks good. Plane's energized. Let's load the flight plan. So we begin here. So we got Charlie Sierra Tango Juliet Papa. It's incorrect. Now this Charlie Sierra Tango X-ray X-ray. This used to be the call sign of this very plane from TAP Portugal. I had a special paint job done by a friend of mine, and that was the call sign in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I think I still have the video of it, so if you want to go check it out, be my guest. It's still in my channel, I believe. So let's initialize the flight plan. We're going to request it from Simbrief. Now, I created this flight plan at 1900 Zulu time, so it will be off by a long shot because I just reverted time back. And just for now, to be able to have a day flight, because I usually don't. Let's see now. We are going to go ATC COM, and let's see if this works today. Send, send, and send for Lisbon. So Ben Gurion, we got the ATIS received, but an airport. All right, so we got the METARs. So it's still raining in Lisbon. It's been a nasty day today, and there's been strong winds. Now it's mild winds, but still raining currently. And Ben Gurion, we got departure runway 26, and we got KVOC 24 degrees, QNH 1015. All right, so we can set that up. For now, we're going to listen to ATIS as well. Oh, our trusted beyond ATC. There we go. Wow, 3 ATIS frequencies. Crazy. So the radio's off, that's why we're not hearing anything, but let's turn them on.
Ceiling and visibility okay. Temperature T6, 3.11. QNH 1016, landing runway 12. Departing runway 26, transition level 200. Numerous planes in operation around Ben Gurion. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Quebec. Ben Gurion Airport information, Quebec. 0652 Zulu, wind variable. Fueling and visibility okay. Temperature T6, dew point 11. Shoot NH1016, landing runway 12. Departing runway 26, transition level 200. Numerous planes in operation around Ben Gurion. Advise on initial contact you have information. Quebec.
Transition level 200? That's way too high, isn't it?
Airport information Quebec, 0652 Zulu.
200, alright.
Visibility okay. Temperature T6, dew point 11.
I usually do this to remind me of the transition altitude, but no need to do that now. It's contact clearance for now. Just leave it off. Alright, so we got TAP Portugal 11 X-ray from Ben Gurion to Humberto Delgado, which is Lisbon Airport. We got cost index 150. That's way higher than desired. But all right, that's just not company policy. I think this is miscalculation by Simbrief. So we got initial clearance at 40 flight level 040, and then we'll go to flight level 0410, back to 040 and 410. I believe we're going to remain at 400. No need to climb 10,000, then come back down and come back up again, unless we're told so. For the sake of performance, I believe, I guess. This will still, when we import the flight plan, it will also import the step climbs, so we just need to improvise a little bit. All right, let's go. Cockpit preparation, gears and pins and covers have been removed. We're going to go for the fuel quantity in a moment. So what do we got on fuel here? So let's go, first of all, let's load the plane. So reload Simbrief. Simbrief import. Alright, so load with GSX. Let's see if this works today, because it usually doesn't. Jetway is still not operational. Let's try again. Load with GSX. Fueling requested. Alright.
Refueling truck is on its way.
So let's go back to OFP. Our fuel for today should be, we're going to need block fuel 39,000 pounds. Or sorry, 39,000 kilos. That's more like it. So we currently do not have that. We're going to need GSX to load that, which is going to take a moment. Let's see if the truck's already in position. It's coming. You can hear it. There it comes. So it's not a tanker, it's just a pump truck. It's going to take the fuel from this ground hole here. Took the long round, didn't he? Oh, no. It's going to crash against everybody.
Fuel truck is in position.
Alright, you can see that. So this thing will drop. The plane's already opening the... That's operated by hand. I don't know why it's already open, I guess. So it's going to take a moment. Let's carry on with the flight prep. So we are going to go for block fuel. And I guess nothing more for now. Let's just bring up the air conditioning unit so that we can have air pumped in, fresh air. Alright, so seat belts, let's set them on, as well as no smoking, and arm the external lights. That's it. Alright, barrel reference is set, 1016 and cross-checked. So now we're just waiting for the fuel to fill in, because currently we have only 12,000 kilograms, 12 tons. We need 29 tons. So it's going to take a moment to fill it in. Let's carry on with flight planning. So let's request departure. Let's see if this works, because usually it doesn't work. So requests, clearance, departure. We're at gate Delta 7. Today is easy to see. So let's go for Delta 7. Okay, and the ATIS code, good question. We're at what's the name of this? Information Papa, all right? So ATIS code Papa, enter, and transfer to mailbox and send. All right, this is a bit different from the A320 that we usually fly. Hello, Jose, good afternoon. Abraço. Usually we have a little device on the lower panel. This one has a mailbox here, so it's like an emulator for that little device. We usually have. It does the same thing, the only difference is that it's digital. So I'm going to look into my Beyond ATC window, and unfortunately, no, we do not have, this message was not sent. So let's see if we got everything correct now. Oh, no, hold on. There it is, BATC. So we might need to notify. Let's see, request, clearance, departure, gate, Delta 7, and we got Papa. Let's see, once more, transfer to mailbox, send, sending, send. All right, let's see now if I got to Beyond ATC. Yep, Beyond ATC responded. All right, so this is going to work, I think. Fingers crossed. No, don't cross your fingers. That's superstition. Don't do that. Yeah, Jose, how are you? Rainy day today, wasn't it? It's absolute mayhem in Lisbon. All right. Nothing's happening. Let's check on Beyond ATC. Yeah, Beyond ATC has replied. Let's see if the plane can interpret the response. Because last times oh, there it is. ATC message. No oral warning though. We should be listening to a ring. There it is. A little delayed, but all right. All right, so we got a reply. So we are cleared to Lisbon Airport, runway 08 departure via Suva 1 Bravo, squawk 6546, ATIS Quebec, when ready call 812175 if unable revert to voice. All right, so we'll comply and send. Yeah, you were a little lucky today because Philippe got he got pounded by rain pretty much. Right, so let's input that. So we got the departure. It's going to be from runway 08. Our fuel is in, by the way. So we're going to go clear to Lisbon Airport via runway 08. There it is. And our departure will be Suva 1 Bravo. There it is. No transition, temporary flight plan, and temporary insert. All right, we got a reply from our Wilco. Oh man, this touch pad does not work. Touch screen, I mean, this touch screen does not work. All right, there we go. ATC request status. CDA received, clearance confirmed. All right, we can close it, but we'll do that in a moment. All right, so we are going to go for squawk code 6546. So let's go to surveillance, squawk code here. You can also insert it on the radio panel. In fact, let's do it through here. So it's 6546. So there are two ways to do the 6546, and it will automatically transport there, or you can write here. So I'll just cancel it, and you can see now that after inserting the radio panel, it projects here. So right now we are going to set everything to default settings, confirm. So everything is now on, except we're going to set the transponder to standby for the moment, but everything else is set to on, as you can see. That's about it. We got everything. We got a clearance. Everything is ready. Now let's continue on powering the plane. So we're going to set this to nav 1, nav 2, and nav 3, the ADIRs. We'll start aligning the ADIRs. Not sure about my passengers. So let's take a look at what's going on with the GSX menu. So I already had requested GSX to be boarded. Let's carry on. Let's just, if I press load with GSX, it's just going to say refueling truck. You'll see. So press it again.
Refueling truck is on its way.
So this is not working. They can say whatever the heck they want. This is not working correctly. I still need to go through the ground menu and request boarding, and I think their intention wasn't to do that, but now GSX will need to run the full fueling truck animation. This is never going to work the way it is. So it's not even working correctly on the A340 either, and they came up with a different idea. So yeah, it's still going. I mean, ever since they implemented this, it's never worked correctly. So every time I press that freaking button, it just calls the fuel truck again, and then nothing. It should, after the fuel truck is done, it should start the rest of the procedure, which is to call the
fuel truck is in position.
Cargo loaders and connect the jetway and start loading passengers. It just doesn't work that way. There you go. So he goes away, and watch. Where are the passengers and the cargo loaders? They're just hanging there looking at yesterday. The fuel truck needs to go away, and because I pressed start boarding, after the fuel truck disappears, they will probably move. We'll see. Nothing. It's just bugged. So I need to go again to ground. Oh my god, this is... Request boarding.
Boarding requested.
Now it works. So it's not working as intended. That button should initiate all the animation necessary. And you shouldn't need to press the boarding button there. Anyway, there are worse things in life, right? Alright, I always like to listen to my marker. It's not relevant, but I need to listen to it. So let's go intercom, cavern, PA, not a PA, not right now. Yeah. Oh, this one. All right.
Passengers boarding starting.
Now the passengers are coming in. All right. So let's prep the rest of the necessary items. So suddenly the passengers just show up. Nice. So sync with FMS or Simbrief, it's better. Sync weather compute. All right, we got runway 26, V1 145, VR 148, and V2 152. We got a flex temperature 67, flaps 1, and THS, which is a trim for takeoff, set to 27.4. Sent to FMS. Now we go to performance. sorry, this one, and you can see that we got the trim set, flex set, and we got the speeds 145, 148, 140, 152 confirmed. All right, now let's go to our initiation so we can set our weights. So let's go to initiation here. What am I doing? Fuel and mode, sorry about that. And now let's request it from our attached pushback tug, yes. Something different I'm trying to do now. So we got zero fuel weight at 173.7. As you can see now, the passengers are loading. Thank you for subscribing, HPS. Welcome to our team. Whoa, I just made a mess here with my phone. There it is. All right, no, that's correct now. So thank you again, HPS, for subscribing. So 173.7. 17. Oh, sorry, I need to select the windows. It's not easy to switch planes, guys. I keep forgetting that in some planes you ride on the scratch pad and then move to the station. Other planes like this one, we need to write it down first on the field. We need to select a field for 173.7 kilograms. Done. As for the CG, we got a 26. Well, it's currently still loading, so it's going to take a moment, but I'm going to say 27, 20. Well, it's on the OFP, isn't it? I will get back to that. It's no need. So we got 324 passengers. 324. And we got a block fuel of 39.1. We just need the CG, which is not yet set because of the mass centering that we need to do when loading cargo and passengers. So our IRS is still aligning, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon anyway. 38% cargo complete. So, as you can see here, we got both wing tanks almost full, but zero fuel on the fuselage tanks. This is by design. Most planes fill the fuel from the wings in. So they start fueling the main wing tanks, then if the plane has like trim tanks on the not trim tanks, but outboard tanks on the tips, and then the inner tanks. This is to maintain weight on the wings on takeoff, and it helps in terms of balancing, and even helps in terms of aerodynamics. The wings will have weight, so they don't bend that high. Although they are designed to bend high to help with fuel economy, but yeah, that's it. So we just need a zero fuel weight. We'll leave it open there for that very reason. Let's just wait for it. Now, let's see if Ben Gurion has an airport map loaded in. There's a lot more to the airport map that I usually use. You can even design Bush. You can even design routes for the taxiways. So we're going to take off from runway 08 right here. So we'll probably be cleared to this taxiway here, all the way up there to 08. But we'll have a look as we go. So we're still loading passengers. A lot of people sitting already. Let's have a look back there, see if people are enjoying our airplane. Where's the door? Where's the door hotspot? Come on. Oh, we're just a little short. Alright, so the passengers are coming in.
Posso ver seu cartão de embarque?
They're coming. We're still a little low. Oh, nice. Hello. So, you're not Betsy, but who's complaining? Just open this. Alright. Looking good. Look at that. Nice. What are you reading? Color conscious. Dicas de moda. This is in Portuguese, actually. But Lorem Ipsum, the infamous Lorem Ipsum text is always here.
Posso ver seu cartão de embarque?
Alright. So this is first class, and then you have what's it called? Executive class, and then you have like premium economy and economy.
Posso ver seu cartão de embarque?
It's a weird configuration because, as you can see here, business class. Oh, lady, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Whoa, some break dancing.
This way, please.
Actually, I think this is already economy plus. Yeah, this looks like economy plus. Oh, got my head inside the bin. And this is economy. So what's
This way, please.
probably more economy? The back? Yeah, it's probably more economy. So kind of waste of space on this plane not having no executive. This is definitely not executive. It doesn't look like executive though. Oh, lady, you give me the creeps. What the heck is going on? Let's reset our position.
Coloque-me on board.
I'm getting the creeps. Alright, let's bring up our checklist while we wait for the CG to be updated.
Bem-vindo a bordo.
Because we already have our fuel quantity set. Checklist complete. Let's look into the before start
Good
checklist.
morning.
These are abbreviated checklists, so you do need to have the normal checklists and run it through. I do have them, but I only have them in paper for the A320.
Olá.
So, boa Santi, ainda bem que vais ter o joystick e o throttle, muito bom. Em outras Master, como eu já tinha falado. So Santi is going to get his joystick, finally. It's great.
May I see your boarding pass?
While we're waiting, let's prep our terminal charts, by the way. So, for the departure,
Bom dia.
we're going to get 08, runway 08, departure, we're going to get Silva 1 Bravo. So where's Silva 1 Bravo for the departure? Silva's 1 Bravo, right there.
This way, please.
And we're going to need the airport charts, although we do have our little airport on the ND. As for Lisbon, we are going to need
Hello.
where there's runway 20 via Upul 3 Bravo.
Hello.
So for Lisbon, we're going to need runway 20 ILS Cat 2. Also going to get the RNP for runway 20, so this one's on pin. And the arrival is Suvo. What's the arrival
May I see
again?
your boarding pass?
Oh, need to go to the flight plan. Upul 3 Bravo.
Bom dia.
Upulu 3 Bravo right here. This chart. Alright. So yeah, it's going to be through Upulu. Yeah, pretty linear with the half banana. All right. So we got our charts. We got our en route. So this is not going to be a short flight, but we're going to accelerate it as usual.
Romeo now current, QNH 1016.
1016, copy. Still boarding.
Good morning.
Morning. Got some nice stewardesses. Oh, we can't say stewardess anymore. Flight attendants. Sorry about that.
Waiting aboard.
Such a crazy world we live in. So we got our AOC, we got METAR for Ben Gurion, so we got 020 at 7, KVOC, 24 degrees, 1015. This is outdated. So,
Waiting aboard.
so for Humberto Delgado in Lisbon, so it's 1830, so it's not that recent, but
Aquí, por favor.
so it's all rain drizzle. Broke sky few, 86, broken 10, 19 degrees, QNH 1013, some recurring rain showers. That's what RERA stands for. So zero fuel weight 173.7, correct. We got takeoff fuel of 38.4 and CG 29.8. Well, 29.9. We can insert that. We can confirm it later. So it is 39, 29.9. 29.9. Here I am, I'm doing this again. So 29.9er. Alright, we'll confirm the CG in a moment. But this is what we got from our OFC. Right, so sorry about the time it's taking to do all this, but this is a big plane, so it takes a moment with just one jetway. That's why most planes have two jetways. Most wide bodies have two jetways. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. Always attending. This is your next plane, Richard. I suppose you guys don't really like long flights, but it's the 350. It's a beautiful plane. Give the 50 a chance. Although I think Inibuilds could have done a better job with this plane, but that's a whole different story. Let's not dwell into that. So, where are we in terms of passenger loading? Nice. So we got our clearance. Let's start our APU. And let's start cleaning up the plane. So, turning on the pumps. So let's confirm. We got zero fuel weight at 30.2 actually. So, see, this is why you should update after plane loading. 30.2. Nice. So the block fuel is 39.1 as expected, and zero fuel weight is 173.7. All right, should have a button here to send this to the FMC, but it's called. Oh, nice. But you mean in real life? I mean in the simulator. So let's sync with the FMS. Compute again. 144, 148, 152. So there's no change here. I'm gonna confirm that. 140. Well, actually, it's 144, not 145. 148 is correct. So let's just send that to the FMS and confirm. So we just changed the that one over there. All right. So we're good to go. We are starting our APU currently. Let's shut our door here. There's no passengers passing by anyway. Oh, where's the knob? There it is. Alright. Lock the door and hope we don't have blasters. Alright, so, system is on for the weather radar and all that jazz. I think we're good to go. Let's start our pre-start checklists, or before start checklists. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speed and thrust have been set. Slides, well, we need to call in the ground crew for that, but we'll do that in a moment. And we are going to turn on the beacon in a moment, and then we'll get the nose wheel steering disconnect memo. All right, we're good to go. Let's call it in. But before we do that, let's go to our GSX menu and let's tell them to prepare for pushback and departure. Our APU bleed is on, external power is off now. Our ground control is off as well.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Copy all.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Nice. So we can continue our... So our nose wheel steering disconnection is on. Let's turn on our beacon now. We got nav 1 auto. Nice. Everything is set up. Let's disconnect our dog.
Locking gear.
Gear is being locked. Let's go to the ground. And let's request push and start.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. At gate Delta 7 request pushback and engine start.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Bend to and ground. Pushback approved. Face east.
Facing
Pushback
east.
and engine start approved. Face east. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
How the heck we face east? We can only face north or south. So east is that way, so it's probably gonna face me north. So yeah, this is crazy. So north is here, so it's gonna face me north, not east. So east is here, west is there. So the best chance is go north. All right.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brake released. Oh, we need to remove the chocks as well. Sorry about that. There we go.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Copy, starting 1. There we go. Not many things in this plane are really well represented, but the slides. Let's arm the slides. Done. Checklist complete. Like I was saying, not a lot of things are well done in this plane, but engines and sounds and startup is really cool. Let's look from the outside, because this one's a beauty. Hey Richard, check this out. How about that? There's a lot of inaccuracies on this livery. Yeah, I just found another one. The call sign, the registration's on the top of the wing. It's not correct, not at all. So I apologize for the inaccuracies of this livery. I may redo this livery on my own. All right, stock number 2. There we go. Should be on start and not crank. Surveillance transponder is on standby. We'll get to that in a moment. It's on auto now. Confirmed.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Right. Let's call it in. Tell them to disconnect.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Let's just wait for them to disconnect now. So let's turn on the velocity vectors for this phase. Go back to the checklist after start checklist. NTI is not required. Let's check on the flight controls.
Unlocking gear.
Full deflection left. Neutral. Full deflection right. Neutral. Full pitch up. Neutral. Full pitch down. Neutral.
Tow truck disconnected.
Full rudder
Bypass
left.
pin removed.
Neutral. Full rudder right.
Left is
Neutral.
clear. Right is clear.
Flight controls checked. Let's look for our pin. Let's turn on track IR here. Where's our pin? There she is. Watch the truck, lady. Whoa, that was close. There's our pin. Cheers. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Alright, let's call it in. Request taxi.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Request taxi to the active.
Ground clearance received. Checklist complete.
Runway 08, taxi by Delta 7, Mike 1 Mike.
Taxi checklist.
Sierra.
Runway 08, taxi via Delta 7 Mike 1 Mike Kilo Sierra. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
And it's set flaps 1. Arm the speed brakes and auto brake to take off. Alright, let's go. Parking brake off. Taxi. Runway. Alright, flap settings set. We're gonna turn on the radar in a moment as we start taxiing. So we're gonna need to go through Delta 7. So this is Delta 7 right here, and then Mike 1. Mike 1. Then Mike. So it's gonna take us to the inner taxiway, alright. So this is Kilo and Sierra. So we don't go through the external one. Let's start our chrono here. So this is Mike, then Kilo. Then we're gonna look for Sierra. Yeah, she probably does that. Yeah. She's a very nasty girl. So we are going through Kilo. Where's Sierra? See Sierra. Oh, there it is. Sierra. Alright. Alright. So we're going on the right lane, at least. So this is our departure here. Oh, let's get back to it. Cabin is still not ready. I'm gonna call in the purser. Cabin is now ready. And takeoff config. Done. Alright, so we need to go through here, then all the way with Sierra. Betsy hates my guts, man. I'm going to ask for the divorce. I told her, come with me, come see the world. But no. There's Kilo again. Well, she is with us, Andrew, because she is talking with the ATC. She's just not sitting there. She's probably sitting below deck in that avionics compartment. Anything but stay with me, right? Alright. This plane is a joy to taxi. Everything is smooth. Quite responsive as well. Set this for the en route. En route, there we go. Just tidying things up. You don't need to go fast. Let's turn on the radar now. We don't need to go fast to make a point. Red radar confirmed on checklist
Air Portugal
complete.
1 X-ray heavy. Contact Benjury Tel 134.6.
It's Tel 134.6 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Cabin crew notified. External lights. Okay, let's request departure. We're gonna. Is there a holding point there? No, there isn't. Let's stop here. Let's request departure.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, holding short, runway 08. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, Benjury Tower, wind variable, runway 08 cleared for takeoff.
Alright, let's go.
Runway 08 cleared for takeoff. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Lineup checklist. Cabin is secured. Takeoff runway 08 confirmed. Packs 1 and 2 set. Let's run our mic before takeoff checklist. Cabin crew set. Exterior lights on. Nose wheel lights set for takeoff. Wing lights set on. TCAS set, TARA weather radar is on, predictive weather is on, and takeoff memo status no blue. Takeoff checklist, before takeoff checklist complete. Alright, here we go. We are ready. Let's clear this up. Let's go. Man flag set 67 SRS runway. Airspeed align.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. What the heck? The TCAS is on standby. Why? I pressed that button more than once. Autopilot 1 off.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Contact Vendurian departure 120.
It's not on standby. The heck?
Contact Vendurian departure 120.5 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
TRA.
Vendurian departure. Air Portugal
That was
11
it.
X-ray heavy. Good morning.
Lever to
1,500 feet.
throttle climb. Declimb, climb, arm nav. Speed check, flaps up.
Climb to 19,000 feet. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Decel. It's a very steep turn here out of the runway. Climb to flight level 190. We're following the procedure here. Parallel to the runway, this naval waypoint here. That's our airport from departure, Ben Gurion. You'll notice that there's not a lot of traffic. There seems to be an issue with Beyond ATC currently. It's not depicting almost no planes in Ben Gurion Airport for some reason. I've already reported it. Let's go to the 20 nautical miles. Yeah, the engines, this plane doesn't do a lot of things, doesn't do right, but the engine sounds are just phenomenal. So our first constraint will be flight level 080 or 8,000 feet. It's actually 8,000 because apparently Israel has a transition altitude of 20,000 feet. So Israel, it's like an oasis in the middle of the desert. If you look around this map, around Israel, in Israel everything is greenish. There's still some desert patches, but it's mostly green, lots of agriculture. And then around Israel is a complete desert. It's like they conquered the desert. It's really amazing to see from satellite pictures. Unfortunately, this is a country that has been engulfed in war, so let's not talk about that. Let's see if politics aside. Let's go outside and take a look. That's Ben Gurion right there. Look at that. Beautiful. I believe that's the Tel Aviv, Maccabi Tel Aviv Stadium, not sure. Football field at least. So you see, most of what you see around Israel is this desert. But then you look at Israel itself, it's all green because they bet a lot on agriculture. What's going on with my plane? It's decelerating like crazy. Because we're leveling at the first constraint at 8,000 feet. altitude CST, this altitude constraint. And we are following the charts here. We're looking at the constraints right here. So these constraints, they force traffic to maintain a certain altitudes, in this case 8,000 feet, or up until here, up here 12,000 feet. Although the ATC told us to climb to flight level 190 or 19,000 feet, we can't really do that for now until we are clear of these constraints. As you can see, we're gonna go forward, so we're gonna follow this path here up to Suvas. After Suvas, you see there's not going to be any more constraints. You can see here the magenta balls right here. So you see that the constraint here, constraint, and then if we move out, you'll see that there are no more constraints after this. It's a direct to Stipa. This is a step altitude here. So we're going to need to climb out of flight level 040 to flight level 041. And unfortunately, this constraint is forcing us to stay at 8,000 feet, because I would really like you to see how of a rocket ship this plane is climbing. It's really amazing. Let's just pull the shades a little bit. So you can see the flight following here on Betsy's screen. We're not going to do real-time flight because it's going to take too long. 3 hours and 50 minutes if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more. How much time would it take? I believe we can see that here. So 5 hours, no, 5.5 hours now. We're going to need to shorten that flight quite a lot. So we're going to set for 4 times speed. So we'll do that just right now. So let's carry on with this one. And where is that? Flight ops menu, options, OIS settings. No, where is that? Aircraft. They changed the position of the. Ah, there it is. Auto. And now it's accelerating. Passing 10,000 feet. Forgot to do the after takeoff checklists. After takeoff checklist, flaps are up. Gear is up. Spoilers disarmed. Thrust set to climb. Autopilot as required. Nose wheel lights to off. After takeoff checklist complete. Should have done that right away. Now the climb checklists. At barrel reference standard altitude set to standard, not yet. NTIs not required. IFIs as required. Weather radar is set. Above 10,000 feet, landing lights off and wing lights to off. Seatbelt signs as required. Let's leave them on for now. Climb checklist complete. And we're now climbing like
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Contact Nicosia Radar 124.2 and good morning.
We're going for Nicosia.
124.2 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Alright, we got a QNH set
Nicosia
standard.
Radar, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Good morning. Leaving 17,100 feet for 19,000 feet. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Nicosia radar identified. Climb to flight level 400.
Yep.
Climb to flight level 400. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
So our first step is going to be to 400, then we're going to request 410. Actually, step altitudes, not step altitudes, just stepa. Just a steer point. I was fooled to think that was a step altitude, but that will be STP, I believe. Oh, my bad. See, this is the reason why I run paper checklists, and I completely forgot to turn off the APU. There's no problem with that, especially in such an airport. When it's hot, it's actually advisable to keep the APU on during departure, because the engines will be overstressed. Just leave the APU to run the air conditioning if it's too hot, and that will remove some of the stress to the engines. Alright, so now comes the part when we just let it fly. And I'm going to turn off my track IR. So we're over the Mediterranean. Whoa, my bad, just touched the pedals there. We're over the Mediterranean, as you can see. And this is a very beautiful part of the world, because these are paradise waters. They're so beautiful. The Mediterranean Sea is one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. And it's a shame that a lot of these places are in conflict. So like Syria up north, Israel, Egypt is not in conflict, but unfortunately it's not the safest place on Earth to go right now, for obvious reasons. But then you have up north, you have the South Turkey, beautiful. Antalya, I think that's the name of it. You also have Malta, and not Malta, sorry, I keep mixing these this is, what's it called, this island here where Nicosia is, Larnaca is, where what's the name of this island here? Well, anyway, the Mediterranean is beautiful, and I once was almost going to Sicily, but I got scared because I back then I had heard a lot of things about the Sicilian mob and all that, so I got a little scared, so I didn't go there. I was told I lost a lot for not going. Cyprus, thank you, Richard. Cyprus, of course, divided between the Greeks and the Turkish here. This is a paradise on planet Earth. And for those that believe in history and in the Bible, God promised the Israelites this piece of land will be their paradise. It truly is paradise on planet Earth. Beautiful place. The rest is history, as the others say. So guys, on your upper right screen, you can see a QR code. That's for the Buy Me a Coffee link. So basically, that's the only way you can support this channel right now, because the channel is too small to be monetized by YouTube. So any help will be great, because any money that I get from these donations will be reinvested in new models and new sceneries. Let's turn off the passenger signs, the no smoking signs. It's not actually no smoking, it's no PED, which I believe stands for no standing up on the airplane, but I can confirm that, by the way. No big deal, just check it out. So no PED, what does that stand for? I'm investigating it here quickly on the manual. No passenger service. Alright, so whenever that switch is on, so the no PED switch, Where is it? There it is. So, see here, it says no smoking, no PD. Now, multi-planes mostly don't have no smoking signs already, because, you know, everybody knows you can't smoke on the flight. But they do still, they replace the no smoking with the no mobile. On the 350, Airbus was thinking ahead. They had the seat belts and the no mobile signs here, but the no smoking and no has been replaced, or it's in service with no PD. So that means that if I switch this on, there will be no in-flight service. If I switch it off, in-flight service is authorized. So that's basically it. Let's go outside a little bit. Beautiful clear skies over the Mediterranean, South Mediterranean. Again, this is a fictional paint job that's available on Flight Sim TO, but I have to say there's a lot of inaccuracies. These winglets are not correct. I've already pointed out a couple of other features that are incorrect. The wing doesn't have an upper registration, just a lower one, and it's incorrectly placed, by the way. And the font is also not correct. So a lot of things there are inaccurate in this plane. You can see here, there's this weird thing here, also here. One of the comm antennas is painted over, should be, but you know, other than that, it's missing the airplane's name on the nose. Should have the name here. It's missing. Whoa, Richard! Oh my God, man! You don't have to, Richard. Thank you so much for your donation. Buy me a coffee, but honestly, there's. When I say you guys can help, it's just like a suggestion. Please don't feel obligated. I really feel bad whenever I say a moment later I got a donation. It's not my intention to, like, tell you to donate. It's not like that. I'm just saying if you feel like it, I would appreciate it. But thank you so much, Richard, once more. And thank you for your words, Andrew. I'm just someone that likes flying and likes to explain stuff. I hope you guys can learn something out of this. If not, then it's fine with me. Just enjoy if you want. If you really love aviation, you'll end up liking some of this stuff. All right, let's go to the step altitude. So at IBREP or EBREP, we need to climb to flight level 410. Where is EBREP? Still ways off from EBREP, I think. I think it's closer to Spain. Ixupa. EBREP, there it is. It's closer to Spain. So it's gonna take a moment to get there. But yeah, we got it. We got to change altitude, request flight level 410. So the reason why planes step climb is in order to maintain optimal cruise, airspeed and altitude. And the higher you go, the less air density you got. Thank you so much, Richard, for your words. Thank you very much, Richard. Really appreciate it. You've been quite the good help here. Like I said earlier, the last add-on I purchased was the A340, and that was only possible through a donation. Whoa, I just had another donation by someone. Who is someone? Was that you, Andrew? I think it was you, right? Because it just says someone. It doesn't say the name of the person. Well, whoever that was, I think it was you, Andrew. If not, I'm sorry, but I think it was Andrew. Andrew, thank you so much. If that was the case. If not, then thank you, mystery donor. It seems I have another mystery donor, just like Jose. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, both of you. Appreciate your help. It was Betsy. Nah, she takes my money. She doesn't give me any money. She takes it. Gladly takes it. So let's clear this up so I don't get mixed comms here. How do I close this? How can I close this window? Clear? No. That's odd. It should go away when we no longer need it. I guess that's one way to do it. So we're going all the way to road tasks. Yeah, it was Andrew. I can see it was Andrew. Thank you so much, Andrew and Richard, two great friends of this channel. Misha has also contributed in the past. Same with Jose. Even Christopher has already helped the channel once. So I appreciate all of you guys. If I could just carve your names on these planes, I would. In fact, that's a good plan. In the future, whenever I learn how to do a paint job for my planes, maybe I'll make one with everybody's name on it. That would be cool, right? Like in the tail, written in the tail fin. That's a good idea. I just need to learn how to paint these planes because I'm a good painter. I used to paint a lot for Flight Simulator X, for Prepare 3D, even for DCS World. But for Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024, I just can't figure it out. It's weird. I just can't figure out how to paint these planes. They look strange in every shape and form when it comes to compiling the textures. So guys, features on the A350. I'm going to show you a few that I find really cool. First of all, the world famous table. Just the standard Airbus thing, right? But then, it's not functional, but it's cool to see a keyboard. How about that? Every single A350 and the A380, you have a keyboard here. You can place your flight plan and you can write stuff down on OIS, everything. You just need to open the tray and write down. But now, there's going to be an issue. Alright, so sometimes I can't close this freaking table because the click spot just fades away. Alright, so this is one of the first quirks and features. Most of the stuff is inherited by the A380. In fact, if you look at an A380 cockpit, it looks pretty much like this, except of course the windows aren't as wide and as beautiful as these. The throttle has four throttle thrust controls instead of just 2. There are also 4 switches for each engine. The radios some of them are still old school because the A350 is more recent, so the radios, these brand new radios, they have a name, I just don't remember what their name is. They're only equipped on the most recent planes. In the A380, most of them still have the old school radios. And the cabin itself is very stylish with these nice little stars, star texture. There's a jump seat here, there's another jump seat there. It's actually the third flight crew member seat, not a jump seat. This one's the only true jump seat. And I believe some airlines have a secondary true jump seat, but this one does not have. This is a very nice compartment where there is a panel here for the third flight crew member. And as you can take a look here. It's a nice little closet, and you can put your stuff in there, including your TAP Portugal vest, your noise reduction headsets, and all that. There's a storage compartment here, and this right up here is the world famous escape hatch. Because the windows on the A350 do not open, unlike most of the airliners in the world, these windows do not open. And so the only way for the crew to, let's say there's a fire on board, a crash landing, the door doesn't open. All right, Richard. See you back in a few moments if you can. So there's a rope inside. You pull this handle here towards down and to back, down and back. There's a rope in here, and this escape hatch will open. There's another latch to open the escape hatch, and then deploy the rope, and the crew can exit or exfil through that hole in the fuselage, because they can't do it from the windows, and that's only if I just pressed the button I shouldn't here, nothing happened. That's only if and when the of course the door, this door doesn't open. This door doesn't open. All right, another quirk and feature, a lot of people have seen this already, is the avionics bay. So let's go down there. So this is where all the plane's computers are in, and they're fed in, as you can see, these pipes. They're not pipes, they're cables that connect to the main deck. And as you can see, all these computers, they each control every single part of the plane, like flight controls, you know, everything digital. These are the two batteries, by the way. Two on one side, two on the other side. These are redundant, and they operate to turn on most of these, not most of them, but the essential equipment, essential items. This hatch here is for maintenance, and that same with that door over there. So this is another door. So there's nothing behind it. It's just the cargo hold. There's nothing interesting behind it anyway. So beneath here is the landing gear, so the front landing gear assembly and everything connected to it. And as you can see, this is the raw inside of the plane. It's actually pretty cool that you can access it in flight. Actually, you can open this hatch and just go down there, and it's just a cool feature. There's nothing to it. Another cool feature is, let's see if they fix this. Nope, still doesn't open for some reason. Yeah, this is the crew rest. Very, very tiny, but enough. So there are two beds up there, plus an emergency hatch that you can also open. So this will lead to this area here. So the escape hatch will lead here, as you can see. So the crew can be inside. For some reason there's an emergency on board. They don't need to go through the door. They can escape through here and then exfil through the doors. But yeah, it looks comfortable. Not the best place on planet Earth to sleep in, but if you're flying, it's better to lay down and rest than actually be out there on the main deck. There's a phone here to call in, I believe, and there's an intercom on every. You can see that there's a speaker here. This is for emergency calls. So if there's a crew in here, they need to come. They need them to come ASAP to the flight deck. They can just call them there. I'm not sure if this is intended to be a mirror, but if it is, I'm not entirely sure what's supposed to do. Oh, this could be for someone sitting here to look back to see if the guys are asleep or if they need something or something like that. Nice. Alright, so this door doesn't open, which is unfortunate, but this one does. Yep, the loo. And you cannot lift the seat, unfortunately, but you can press, you know, just a nice little feature. Unlike the Phoenix, I think the Phoenix is the only plane that you can actually operate these doors. Or maybe not, look at that. I think we can operate them. I've never tried, but in the Phoenix you can actually arm the doors, disarm them, and then open. So I believe that this only opens, but if I open when the door is armed, they'll probably deploy the seat, not the seat, sorry, the you know, that inflatable, what's it called? I know the word in Portuguese, what's it called in English? Oh, I don't know. So this is we've been here before. This is the first class. Now that I think of it, maybe this one is the executive, because I know TAP Portugal doesn't have first class, but I don't know how this guy developed this paint job. So I'm not sure if he actually took that into account, or it's just haphazardly just placed any configuration. So there's another door here. I'm sorry for going so slow, but this is as fast as I can go. See the lever, it lights up, means it's operational. This is the second galley, so there's the first galley up there. This is the second galley. This is where all the food is stored, the trays, the ovens. None of this works. Another loo also works. You can also flush it. Yeah, don't worry about it, gentlemen. I'm the official flusher, bathroom tester. No in-flight entertainment for you guys. Oh, yes there is. Except for those on the front for some reason. So, I think this is executive. It looks so sparse. Maybe it is. This is, of course, the corral. I don't know if this is accurate enough, but I honestly feel it in this configuration, which is 333 actually. There's not much room for the flight attendants, is there? They look very looks very narrow. Oh, I forgot to test these, because some plane, I believe the FSL, you can open these. Oh, did I do something wrong? Let's go back to the cockpit. Did I press any button inadvertently? Because it has happened in the past. Oh, bad weather is coming. Now we got clouds. That's a precursor to bad weather. Let's go to Malta. Now it's Malta.
Centron 122.77, 5 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Malta is southbound
Malta
here.
Control, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Good day, flight level 400.
So Malta is right there.
11 X-ray heavy, Malta Control, major contact.
And for some reason it has this big polygon here. It's a huge polygon from Malta. Look at that. This is the polygon from Malta right here. We're going to go through Sicily, then we're going to go through all the way to, we're going to go through the Balearic Islands and then Barcelona Center, then Madrid Center, and then Portugal. Not long now. We're about halfway, I think. A little less than halfway. At 4 times speed, we're gonna be there in a flash. So, I didn't go all the way to the back, but I think you guys got the idea for the flight deck. Sorry, the cabin. So again, guys, this is a flight from Tel Aviv in Israel to Portugal. We're expecting some bad weather in Portugal, so we're about to leave the Malta airspace into Italy airspace or Sicily airspace. That's Sicily right there in front, then Santorini, then the Baleares, then Spain, then Portugal. The weather is closing up. This is a very volatile region on the Mediterranean Sea. It's usually where we get some nasty weather surprises. We're currently getting some mildly strong winds from the south, pushing us on to the side.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, contact Brindisi radar 123.95.
Let's go to Brindisi.
Centre on 123.95, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Brindisi radar, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Good day, flight level
So guys,
400.
if you're enjoying this, remember to press like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. Really appreciate it. There's a lot of people doing videos like these, full flights, but I think people that enjoy my channel, they understand that I try to explain what I'm doing. I don't just press the switch and carry on. I try to explain why I'm pressing it, when I'm pressing it. Again, nobody needs to have a standard way to do things, but this is the way I do it, and I think that there's some people out there, there's some people that enjoy that. So I appreciate if you guys can help me grow, well, by sharing with your friends and telling them about it. Of course, you can also help by donating. There's a link in the description. There's also a link in this chat and the QR code on the top right screen on your screen. This is the TAP Portugal flight from Tel Aviv to Lisbon. This is a real flight, although not exactly taking this exact route, but this is the one I picked. There was a more used, well, it's not more used, but more standardized flight path that would take me a little bit north. That will take me about 40 minutes of flight total. So I decided to take this more or less direct approach. I'm still avoiding some airspaces like the Moroccan airspace. Apparently it's not really well, if you're trying to get the best ATC you can, then perhaps avoid the Northern African ATC just in case something can go wrong. You don't even need to fly over the Mediterranean. Actually, the flights go up north so you can have more options in case of an emergency. Then you need to land fast. But you know, you're in an Airbus A350-900. You don't really need to be worried about fuel consumption. But yeah, the flights would take me northbound a little bit more through the northern Italy. There was one that actually went through France, so I think that's too much of a detour. So I took this flight. But of course, you can design your own flight, and I do this via Simbrief, and this allows me to take a more or less realistic flight plan from place to place. However, what's not realistic is TAP Portugal having an Airbus A350. Not only do they not have that currently, there's no A350 planned, but it's not been like that since ever. Once upon a time, TAP Portugal was one of the main, well, I wouldn't say main because that's a big a word, but one of the earliest interested parties to acquire the A350-900, at least the 900, not the 1000. And there was actually a plan to acquire these planes. There was actually Airbus actually made this package to demonstrate the plane with the Air Portugal livery and all that. But after some time, I'm not entirely sure how the story goes, but I do know that TAP Portugal got interested on the A330-900, the Neo. Now, the A330neo currently, alongside with the A330 CEO, the 300, is one of the best workhorse planes out there currently in the mid to high range. And when I mean mid to high range, I mean mid to high range price tag. So it's like an economy. I think the 330 Neo is the biggest A350 competitor currently, which is ironic because the 350 is just overly expensive. It is probably the most advanced plane ever made, airliner ever made, but the price tag for each unit is way too high for most airlines, and that was one of the major setbacks for TAP Portugal to acquire it. So they aimed for the 330 Neo. In fact, they were one of they were the delivery airline for the 330 Neo, and nowadays they're just planning to acquire two more. They already have a fleet of 330s, 13 or 12 if I'm not mistaken. You might think that's not a lot, but it is a lot for such a small country as Portugal. You can see there in the map, it's one of the smallest countries in Europe, and yet, yeah, we do have a lot of planes considering. 80 something 320s, 321s, and the 330s. So currently, what TAP Portugal is still planning is to acquire two more 330 Neos, and they completely abandoned the 350, which is a shame because I love the plane. But apparently the costs, the operational hours, so the costs per hour on the 350 compared to a 330 is way too much. Plus, they would need to train an entire maintenance and management crews for the 350.
Contact runway 131.1 Air Portugal 11.
TAP Portugal already had maintenance and fleet for fleet crew for the 330 standard, so it was just a conversion for the 330-900 compared to the 350. Although you can have the same type rating between the 30 and the 50, but you still need to make the conversion to the 50. So yeah, it was at the end of the day, it was the most wiser decision, I would say. But still, I would love to have seen a 350 with the TAP coral colors. I mean, look at this. How can you not like this? It's beautiful. Look at that. Please look at it from afar because this texture is not good, but it is a beautiful plane with this livery. Alright, we're just passing over the equal time point, ETP. That's the point of no return. So we already passed it actually. This is the point where it would be, if we had an issue, it would be closer to the destination airport currently than it would be for going back to the origin. This is more important for flights that you can perceive to have no airfields in sight for a long period of time, and the only option would be to go continue on to destination or go back to the departure airport. Medical emergencies, mechanical emergencies. So it tells the pilot that it's closer to get to the destination and to return to the original airport. The ETP, equal time point, and you can see that on most modern Airbuses. And I believe the MAX also have it, if I'm not mistaken. The 737 MAX. I've just not seen it on the 777, but then again, PMDG is not using the latest software package on their planes anymore. So there have been upgrades to the 777 as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I know, and PMDG is just modeling their planes, I believe, from a software suite from the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, everything that is essential is there. Just in case there's some minor software upgrade, you might not see it on the PMDG aircraft. So I believe we're coming up on that step climb. Yep, there it is. It's the next one, IBREP. There it is. Step climb to flight level 410. There it is, to reach at Étoile. So after we pass IBREP, we're going to request flight level 410 to Étoile. So it's just a 10,000 feet climb, nothing serious. And then I believe we're going to have another step climb to back to flight level 410. Flight level 4100, sorry. Or not. Look at, no, I don't think they're going to climb back to 400. But it is on the OFP. So step climbs guarantee that you can do two things. First, climb as much as you can to maintain the best performance for speed and altitude, and also comply with the country's altitude separations. Some countries will be north odds, south evens. Other countries will be east odds and west evens, something like that. So we're probably going to cross into a country with mixed odds evens, so we're going to switched odds even. So we're gonna switch to flight level 410 to comply, and also helps us keep that performance going. We're always fighting for this right here. The expected fuel on board, always trying to save fuel as much as we can. We now have a nose wind, so when we turn left, we're probably going to get a side wind coefficient that will probably give us some slight tailwind, not by much. So we're coming up on Santorini. Fortunately, it's a cloudy day outside, so you might not be able to see much. There it is. Beautiful big island. So let's request an altitude change.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, request altitude change.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, roger. Say new altitude.
So we need to talk here. Flight level 410.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Enable your flight to the west, and flight level 410 is not valid for this direction of flight. Please pick a different altitude.
So it's not allowing me to get the intended altitude. So we're going to cancel it.
Cancel altitude change. Air Portugal 11 X-ray
And we're
heavy.
going to delete.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, roger. Altitude change request cancelled.
We're going to delete that.
Air Portugal
Step
11 X-ray
climb.
heavy, contact
Yeah, it's
Marseille
already
Control
been
119.825.
Step.
Contact Marseille Control 119.825, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Marseille Control, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, flight level 400.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, Marseille Control identified.
Beyond ATC is not really good with this anyway, so no point in requesting a flight level change. If we were on VATSIM or EVAL, then it would be a lot easier to just ask for a new altitude. But not right now. Alright, let's prep our descent, because we're not that far. We're about 15 minutes or so from Spanish airspace, maybe less than that. and then everything will start going fast. So first of all, let's go to our ATC comm and let's request an update. Let's actually put it on auto update for both. If this doesn't do anything. Yeah, apparently it's still bugged. It's been like that for centuries now. No worries. You can request our weather from Simbrief itself or from Navigraph. Alright, so we got our latest METAR from 2100 Zulu, 216. So there's 9,000 visibility 9,000 not started miles, scattered 9, broken 15, temperature 20, 2.18, QNH 1013. So let's insert this data into our performance for the destination. So outside temperature is 20. Let's actually reset my position here. We're doing this. QNH 1013. We're going to get our barrel reference in a moment. We're going to land config 3. And that's it for now. The wind needs an update. So the wind is 200 at 16. 200 at 16 knots. Alright, let's go to our chart now. Confirm.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Contact Marseille control.
Let's go to French control for now.
Centre 124.5 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Marseille control, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, flight level 400.
So we're going to go for ILS 20. And we got a decision height of 547. That's what we're going to get. So 547 and enter. Now I don't think my sit position is correct. Yeah, it's pretty much correct. Alright, so data is inserted. Let's go for our this one is correct.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Contact Marseille control 120.75. Have a good day.
Runway 20.
Centre 120.75 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Yeah, ILS 20. Yeah,
Marseille control, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Good day, flight level 400.
And we're going to make
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Marseille control identified.
Hupolo 23 Bravo. So Hupolo 3 Bravo done. Insert. Let's go back to performance, approach, and again fill in decision height 547. Alright, every time we change the approach, the runway or the star, you need to update the performance for the minimum.
Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Contact Barcelona Center 119.45. Bye bye.
Go to Barcelona.
Centre 119.45 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Barcelona Centre, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, flight level
So
400.
we're passing overhead of the Balearic Islands,
Air Portugal 11
Palma de Mallorca, Menorca, and Ibiza. That's Ibiza, Palma, and Menorca. Mallorca, it's not Palma. Palma de Mallorca is Palma of the island of Mallorca. So guys, not long now. We're about almost 2/3 of the flight now. I would say we need about 20 minutes to start our descent, something like that. So we're overhead Mallorca now. We've been to Palma Airport recently. It wasn't a very good flight because we had some issues with autopilots and radar vectoring. I believe it was more of a radar vectoring thing than an autopilot thing. But it wasn't a good approach. I need to come back here and do it again correctly this time. Instead of coming to Lisbon, I was hoping to go to India, but I couldn't find a decent airport for India, at least not one that I knew the company and was like MK Studios or Inibuilds or anything of the sort. And I couldn't find a New Delhi airport for MFS 2024. Maybe there is, I just couldn't find it. And even if I could, it's not likely that I would fly there often. So buying an airport just for one flight seems rather pointless. I've looked into the default airport and it didn't look bad, but could have been better. So I just decided I'll just go home. Yeah, this auto update thing, it's just not working. It worked on the departures, just stop boarding mid-flight. So don't mind that. Just take your Simbrief weather report and it's much more reliable. Still don't get our top of descent yet. Still need to cross all the way through Spain to get there. We'll get to Madrid. We can actually skip this waypoint here and go straight forward, but there's a corridor coming from Madrid to Portugal, Lisbon, and we do need to follow that corridor. All flight patterns that I created till I reached Spain, all of them went through Madrid Center, and all of them had the corridor into Portugal. So there's no way to skip it, no way to avoid it. At least in doing automatic real-like flight plans. If you do it manually, you can even go direct from Israel to Lisbon, direct flight, DCT. I mean, it's up to you, right? now we're confidently beyond 2/3 of a flight, so not long now. Still running at 4 times the speed. In the simulator, we've been flying for 3 hours and 53 minutes. Out of the gate, it's been 4 hours and 1 minute out of the gate. There's our top of descent right there. It's still far away, still through 320 miles out. So still a lot to go till we reach that. As we get closer to the top of descent, I'll start preparing the plane by running the descent checklists, call the passengers back to their seats, all that jazz. So this is going to be a hard turn to the right, then another to the left, and then as we cross the border, well, before crossing the border to Portugal, we'll start our descent. I believe it's before. Let's see if it's beyond the border. So right-hand turn. It's ironic, while flying in the simulator, and not just flight simulators, even in car simulators, there you have to drive for a long period of time, like Euro Truck Simulator. I always get the sound of the engine, and you know, I always get drowsy. But when I'm flying for real on a real plane, I can't sleep for anything in this world. I once slept through the entire. I once wanted to sleep through an entire flight because it was a very long flight coming back to Portugal, and I just couldn't. I just can't. I never could, and I flew quite a bit in different planes, different categories, even in different classes. I never flew in first class, but I flew in executive a lot of times. Premium economy, executive, and I could never ever fly and sleep at the same time. I would sleep like a baby on arrival though. I remember once reaching an hotel kind of late in the evening, like midnight or something, and I just crashed the bed and slept. Period. Didn't do anything, didn't wash myself or teeth or anything of the sort. I don't think I even undressed. I just jumped into the bed, dropped, and slept till morning. I was so tired. Flying, sometimes flying more than 5 hours, I'd say, you get very fatigued because of being sit down for that period of time. If you can't sleep, I would say you get 100 times more tired than if you could sleep on board. But I do find that a lot of people tell me that flying on like an executive chair, even those reclining chairs, it's never like a good bed rest, bed sleep. So you always get tired even from sleeping on board. So I don't think I'm missing much from not being able to sleep on board. But you guys tell me, if anybody likes to sleep on planes, please tell me, how do you do it? Like I said, I'm getting drowsy just flying here now. Can imagine why I can't sleep on board, but I just can't. We can see now the first constraints there. 240 nautical miles, that's inside Portuguese airspace, and we'll get directly into the SID approach, standard instrument approach. Star. I said SID, I meant star. See, I'm tired. Already changing acronyms here. Alright, final left-hand turn before we enter Portuguese airspace and start descending. Our descent is now at range 16 nautical miles, 160. Weather doesn't look as bad as it did in the evening. Or even worse in the afternoon, but we're still expecting some bad weather in Portugal. We'll see. After this flight, I'll probably go back to Madeira Island. We'll see. It's been some time since I've been to Madeira. It's one of my favorite approaches. So I just want to go back there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it right now, but I'll leave it up to you guys. If anybody wants me to go to a specific place, just let me know. But I think I'll go to Madeira next. It's a recurrent theme in my channel to go to Madeira. But then after Madeira, I think I'm going to go a different way. Instead of going back to Portugal, I may go to Tenerife. We'll see. Northern Africa is also a good choice. Tunisia, Morocco. Morocco would be nice. But we'll see. I'm thinking Tenerife for now. But then, we'll see. So Lisbon, then Madeira, then Tenerife, the Canary Islands, then Northern Africa, probably Tunisia or Morocco. Again, I need to find proper airports, otherwise I'll be landing on barren airports, default barren airports. Alright, we're still in Sevilla Center. Not sure why we should have been into Madrid Center, but okay, fine with me. In fact, I think it will start answering as Madrid Center for some reason. What we require now is that we get informed about our expected star for Lisbon, which will probably be Helpalo 3 Bravo, the one we set up earlier for runway 20. Runway 20 is a given, I think, because of the predominant south winds, but we're just not sure. For example, right now we're having north winds. Not north winds, sorry, west winds coming from the west. So there could be a change in Lisbon. We never know. At this point, I've not consulted the METAR. I will get the briefing and then consult the METAR afterwards. And yes, it's the ATC giving you the correct star and runway to land although you may have something different on your flight plan, it's their command, it's their prerogative that you need to follow, not your flight plans. So as soon as we get the clearance, I'll get out of time acceleration. And as you can see, I think we will get our clearance inside Portuguese airspace already. We'll see. Well, maybe not. Maybe before that. Maybe right here. So we'll see. We just need to get that clearance ASAP. Usually get it at about 40 nautical miles. But I already got it as less as 20 nautical miles. So let's see what happens now. Because we're going awfully fast, by the way. We're at Mach 0.85, 850. We're more or less at Mach 3.6 or 3.7. Hello, welcome back, Richard. We're almost there, buddy. Reaching our top of descent pretty soon. So yeah, you see, it's still not giving me a descent clearance, so I'm going to come back out of time acceleration, otherwise I won't have any time to program this, if it indeed changes my star and my approach runway. Come on. Give me that sweet approach clearance. Come on. I'm gonna call the purser, tell him that we're about to start our descent at any moment now. If it doesn't give me the descent clearance, I'm going to request it anyway, so we can follow the managed descent performance. Turn on traffic. It should have been turned on, for some reason it wasn't. We're about 10 nautical miles, still no descent clearance. Let's go already.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, ready for descent.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, Inibuilds Bravo,
yep.
Runway 20, descend to flight level 230.
Inibuilds Bravo, runway 20, descend to flight level 230, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Let's go to manage descent. There it goes. Descent checklist. We only have the approach here, so let's go do it manually. Descent checklist, MCDU landing performance review, TCAS set to below. Let's go here to surveillance. TCAS below, done. Approach briefing has been completed, Betsy isn't here, so nav aids reviewed, NTIs as required, FEs ND to constraints, they're on. Seatbelt signs are on. Descent checklist above the line completed. So below the line will be battle reference set to standard at transition altitude. In Portugal is 4,000 feet, and below 10,000 feet, seatbelt signs to on, landing lights to on, and wing lights to on. So we'll perform that as we get there. Sorry about that. Sometimes my mouse just goes crazy. So we are already starting our descent. We're slightly below the performance for managed descent, 2,300 feet below to be more precise. But I prefer to be below the performance than above it. The plane should make diligence to meet the performance, the managed descent performance, if we are in managed descent. So if I press this, hello, there it is. So we're now in managed descent, and now it will start to raise the profile so we can meet that managed descent. Some airlines are SOPs demand that you always follow the managed descent profile. Others, they leave it to the pilot's criteria. Some pilots prefer to go open descent, others prefer to go to manual descent by opening the VS vertical speed. Like, if technology serves you, then go managed descent. If you really are fond of technology doing stuff for you. But that has a downside, which is whenever the manufacturer, the developer of the software isn't really good at programming the VNAV for the airplane, then you're going to have trouble. The plane will accelerate beyond crazy, or just have a slow rate, will make a flat descent or a steep descent, but most of the times it works okay. Yeah, there's still some heavy clouds at this point. METAR says there's still drizzle, but I'm not sure. I'll take a look at the weather in a moment. So our first constraint will be flight level 250, which is above our clearance, so we will obey to the constraint and then descend correctly to the ATC given altitude. We need to reach this banana-shaped approach at 8,000 or 7,000, depends on the approach. And then we'll enter that banana holding point. Going through the clouds, our weather radar shows no soup, so we're good for now. Alright, we are about to reach the managed descent performance, so the profile will, there it comes, the little ball, as well as this line here for the vertical profile. So what we're doing now is following the aircraft's own calculated best descent rate. We're passing the first cloud layer. According to the METAR, there's at least 2 layers, but we'll see. We're still not inside Portugal, by the way. We're still in Spain. Passing at 30,000 feet. Weather looks worrying, but not that bad. We got some head-on winds, 56 knots. It's not helping us. It's actually delaying us quite considerably. I think we've lost about 10 minutes just for the wind. Yeah, just about. I think you can check in the beginning of the video, the UTC time for arrival. I think we're back about 10 minutes just because of the wind. And we also didn't climb to flight level 410, but I don't think that's a factor. I think it's just the damn wind, because we had nose wind for a long time during this flight. So we got our descent mode set, our altitude mode is armed. We will be getting a constraint before we reach flight level 230, but after that it will continue descent to flight level 230. Actually, this is a minus FL250, so this is actually an indication for anything below 250, so I think we're good to go down to FL250. What we need to do is decelerate to 280 knots, then 250, then 230 knots. So the plane will nose up to accomplish that, or I can just help it with the speed brakes. But again, we only need to do that when we hit the constraint. Yeah, there's 2 layers. I think Flight Simulator 2024 can do a lot of layers, 5 layers or something. But there's a limitation in what the METARs can supply, right? So even though you can get your clouds up to flight level 600, doesn't matter because the METARs can't read that high. At least what concerns aviation, because there's no planes flying at flight level 600, right? But you can add a lot of layers. I remember FSX had a 3-layer limitation, I believe. You can only set 3 layers, like a cirrus layer, like a very high layer, then 2 more for standard weather. I think it was 3, either 3 or 4 layers, no more than that, right? I think MFS 2020 and 2024 introduced more layers. Again, it's irrelevant to set so many layers, but you can if you want. Alright, we are hitting our cleared altitude of flight level 230. So our performance will keep dropping because we are supposed to descend a little more, but apparently we're not going to do that right now. That magenta ball here you see here, right there, that's a decel point. This is the point where the plane will decelerate to keep up with this constraint here of 280 knots. We're currently at 330 knots, give or take, and it's going to start reducing from this point on until it reaches the constraint of 280 knots. It's just a visual marker, so you see the plane will start decelerating on that position. All these markers are important because, as you know, the throttle levers do not move on the A350. So.
X-ray heavy, contact Lisbon Centre 119.55, have a good day.
Contact Lisbon Centre 119.55, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
It's really a weird position.
Lisbon Centre, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, descending by Pure True Bravo, flight level 230.
Oops, what did I do? Off the throttle disconnect. Sorry about that.
Center, radar contact.
Alright. So we're in Lisbon Center now. We already told them that we are at flight level 230, but they're still not telling us to descend. We're already seeing some clouds up ahead. So far, it's not serious enough. But, you know. I think I programmed the key here. Ah, there it is. To change the views. And I think I messed one of these views up. Right. This one's good enough, I suppose. So we're inside Lisbon airspace. Lisbon control airspace, I mean. Lisbon is still up ahead. So we're going to bring up our Upolo 3 Bravo approach. This one right here, and then we'll go through the half banana. And then we'll manage this approach. We're going to request a direct to Harnett, probably out of roll map. We're going to request a direct to, maybe not, maybe we get out of Decky, and as soon as we get out of Decky, we request a direct to Harnett if we are at flight level with the flight level 070. We'll see. In real life, ATC will never tell you to go through this half banana. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. In real life, ATC will never tell you to accomplish this. It will probably give you a direct to approach out of Decky to Harnett, and then make your approach to Lisbon. But if not, the ATC, well, beyond ATC doesn't really, it's not really that clever. So we need to do this by hand, by requesting manually to go direct to Harnett. And if we do it way back, it will probably not let us do that. But if we do it somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere in this L-shaped line here, we have a good chance of ATC allowing us to do that. So if you don't know, beyond ATC is controlled by AI, and AI is still learning, and unfortunately the learning curve seems to be taking a lot longer than desired.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, descend to flight level 070.
Alright, let's go.
Descend to flight level 070, Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
So again, manage descent. There it goes. We really need to descend very fast, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy the speed brakes to help it go down even further. There it goes. So that we can get down here somewhere in this vicinity. Hopefully before this decel. Nah, not gonna get there. Still 5,800 feet above optimum descent. So the speed brakes are extended. I can tell you this is very uncomfortable for the passengers doing such a steep descent. I've landed twice on runway 20, once in the cockpit, but most of the time I landed at runway 02. It's more often to land on 02. I'm talking about real life, because in the sim it's been, yeah, also a 02 most of the time. Throughout the many years of flight simming, very rarely did I land on 20. No, not very rarely, but more rarely. So I would say about 70-30. So 70% being 02, 30% 20. Maybe more, maybe 60-40, but definitely not half-half. So we really need to decelerate now to 250 knots because of the altitude restrictions. So below 10,000 feet, we always fly below 250 knots. So that's why way before it's calculating that it needs to raise the nose. Remember, the speed brakes are deployed. And so it needs to accomplish also the constraint here of 250 knots. There are fines for airlines that don't follow this airspeeds and altitudes, by the way, so don't think this is just pilots being pedantic. They really need to follow these things. It's not like an option or something. Let's just confirm here that we only have the approach checklist. Yep. So going back to flight plan performance, let's go for the approach. Alright, let's close the speed brakes in, because now we're just spending fuel. Here we go. So out of Decky, we're going to try to get a direct to Hornet if we are at flight level 070. If not, we'll carry on descending. It's a good thing about this banana-shaped approach is that if we get to Decky at, say, flight level 1001, so at 10,100, we can still descend to the next waypoint and the next waypoint, and if we get there at flight level 070, then we can ask for a direct to. ATC could do that in real life, doesn't need us to ask it, but still. We're still expecting rain. Let's consult the METAR, the final METAR here. Refresh data. This is Ben Gurion, there's Lisbon. So, alright, rain's back. So there's a few clouds, 2 layers. Oh, there's a towering cumulus. So bad weather is back. 200 at 16, nothing changed here. So the visibility reduced. It's raining now, and the QNH is still the same. So we could edit it and say, yeah, we could, and we should, and we would. So it's going to be 200 at 16, still same wind, 018 now 19. That's about it. QNH the same, and we're still getting the same barrel reference. Alright, so yeah, it's modified VFR, it's still not IFR, but it's raining again. So as you can see, we're still descending. We're still not at the optimum 7,000 feet or flight level 070 altitude. Yeah, a few low clouds at 600 feet. It's going to be a little challenging, but nothing we can handle. Like I said earlier today during the live streams on Lisbon Airport, it's normal. It's not that big of a deal to have low visibility approaching an airport. Planes can still fly with 0 to no visibility, close to 0 visibility, so it's fine. It's a little more dangerous at night, but we're flying during the day now, so no issues. As you can see, we got green. There's no real actual bad weather. It's just rain apparently. We're set to below, DCAS, so everything is fine and dandy. I'm noticing there's no traffic in Lisbon. So there's something fishy about beyond ATC today.
Heavy. Contact Lisbon arrival 125.13. Contact Lisbon arrival 125.13 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Alright, we're going to Lisbon arrival.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Flight level 099, we have Tango on board. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy Lisbon arrival. QNH1013, expect the ILS runway 20 with the upset transition.
That's the one we got.
QNH1013, expect the ILS runway 20 with the upset transition.
You know,
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Let's take a risk. Let's request direct to Arnet right now. Let's see what it says.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, request direct to fix. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, roger. Say fix name.
So we're going to Arnet. See if it allows it to choose Hornet. There it is, Hornet. Oops. Where is it? Hornet.
Request direct to Arnott. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray
Alright.
heavy. Confirm direct to Arnott.
So we don't have to go through the banana.
Affirmative. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Roger. Clear direct to Arnott.
Clear direct to Arnott.
So
Air Portugal 11
where is
X-ray heavy.
Hornet?
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Descend to 3,000 feet. QNH 1013.
Descend to 3,000 feet. QNH 1013. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Clear direct upset. Cross upset at above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS runway 20.
Cleared direct upcut. Cross upcut at above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS runway 20. Air
Alright, we're
Portugal
clear
11
for the
X-ray heavy.
ILS approach. Let's turn on our landing system. And let's bring up our Cat 1, I believe. ILS approach runway 20. So we got a standard approach of 3 degrees glide slope. We're going to intercept it at 4,000 feet. We're actually going to intercept it at 3,000 feet. So that's the minimum height, by the way, for the interception, and then it's just a direct approach to runway 20, and there it is. Still above the cloud layer. I would prefer to tilt my radar down, but that's unfortunately not possible in Flight Simulator 2024. The weather system is just very limited. It just sees up ahead, period. But we're going on a good rate descending. We're going to need to decel to 180 knots there, and then we'll start our procedures for the approach. Passing 10,000 feet, landing light on. We've already passed a long time ago, but still I was concerned about more. Oh my, look at that. Some yellow dots there. There's some heavy rain down there. There's a towering cumulus, so I was expecting this. So expect rain on the approach. Let me sit correctly. There's our little plane right there. We're entering the chart area. So let's turn on track IR. Here we go. Center. Done. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. All right, guys. We're going to make an auto approach up to a certain point. But then I'll try to do a manual landing, depending on the wind. So the wind is a bit variable. So we're clear for the ILS approach, so we're going to press the APR button that's arming the landing Cat 3 single. If we need, we can activate the second autopilot to make it a Cat 3 land dual. I don't think it's going to be necessary. We're still descending on a good rate. It's going to intercept the localizer first, then the glide slope. So we cannot descend before intercepting the localizer. Plane's reducing speed to keep up with the 180 constraint. We might need to deploy spoilers. So as we go below the cloud coverage, you see that's no longer yellow, but you know there's rain over there. Or there should be. Switching to 10 nautical miles, switch to terrain on the ND of my colleague here. And let's definitely reduce this to 10 as well. Oh, So now we can perform. We're going through the transition in a moment, and as we do so, we'll switch to the landing checklist. First the approach, then the landing checklist. So, approach checklist. So we're going to set the runway condition to wet. Probably snow, not snow. Wet 5, there it is. It's written right here, wet 5. Weather cleared all of a sudden. So, could be the case there's no rain, which is weird because we were getting some rain showers on the METAR. Plane's doing a good job to stay on the glide path and not descend before intercepting the localizer. There it goes, intercepting the localizer now. And now we'll start descent. So we got glide slope star, lock star. Let's set standard 1015. Whoops. Alright, there's a runway right there. Doesn't seem to be rain currently. Speed check flaps 1. Alright, better reference set. And cross check 1015. Minimum is set. Runway condition set. Auto brake set.
Contact tower 118.105 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Bye bye.
Landing checklist.
Lisbon tower Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. ILS runway 20.
It's just an ECAM memo.
Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
2,500.
Wind 205 at 21 runway 20 cleared to land.
Runway 20 cleared to land. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Please speed check. Come on. Flaps 2.
$2,000.
2,000 check. So nose wind 17 knots. You can see some rain or turbulence up ahead. Nothing serious. See the low cloud layer? That's what's going to get us. Speed check flaps 3. Alright, we're clear to land. Gear down. Sorry, gear down. Landing checklist. If it's as required and the terrain is required, rear gear. Down, 3 green. Auto brake set, spoilers armed. Flaps set to landing. Landing memo. Cabin's not ready, let's call the purser. Cabin's ready. Right, looks like a pretty standard approach here. So we won't crash apparently. Let me sit down correctly. Feet on the pedals. Here we go. So disappointed, no rain. I mean, there is rain in the vicinity, but
1000.
it is recurrent rain, so it's not steady rain. Still, I would love to make a rainy landing today. Doesn't appear to be the case. Alright, we got runway up ahead. Looks clear enough. Autopilot off. Little high. Little low. Too slow. There we go. Little high again.
500.
500 check.
400.
400 check.
300.
A little low. Way low. Light slow.
100 above.
Now we have cooking.
200. Minimum 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, exit left at Hotel 3.
Exit left at Hotel 3 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy, contact ground 121.755.
Ground 121.755 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Have a good day. Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Request taxi to company gate.
Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy. Gate 145, taxi via Hotel 1 Uniform 2 Uniform. Golf 2 Golf. Golf 1 Tango. Whiskey 2 Alpha 4.
Gate 145 via Hotel 1 Uniform 2 Uniform. Golf 2 Golf. Golf 1 Tango. Whiskey 2 Alpha 4 Air Portugal 11 X-ray heavy.
Requested. Passengers deboarding starting.
Inibuilds has a lot of work. They decided to move forward to the A340. The A340 is still not a perfect integration with GSX either. So yeah, there's that. So we'll just need to wait for the near future to see these planes working correctly. But for now, I think the flight was okay. Now the passengers are moving out. The flight was okay. There was no big deal. We did some normal time acceleration. Why am I walking sideways now? Oh, alright. We did some time acceleration as expected, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Beyond ATC is not acting up correctly because apparently the flights are not really flying. So AI is not really flying today for some reason. Maybe it's the weather, but as you can see, there are no departing or landing planes. ATC is quiet. There's nothing going, nothing happening. This is a Friday, so there's a lot of flights coming in and out during the weekend. So not sure. Some issue with Beyond ATC. They have issues in the past with their connection to the service. Sometimes it just didn't work. Anyway, next time will be better, I hope. So guys, if you like what you see, remember, leave a like, subscribe. Your help is very welcome. And if you want to, you can always help the channel with Buy Me a Coffee links. I think I need to thank Richard, AMC, and Andrew for your kind donations today in Buy Me a Coffee. Also thank Mirsha for being around during the start of this live stream, and Santi, thank you for coming as well as Jose from Airport Wings. You guys rock. You're always here for me, and I really thank you a lot. So we're gonna watch these guys during their baggage retrieval for now. Let's take another angle here so we can tell you guys goodbye. Thank you all for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed once more. And remember guys, this is flying is great. Sim flying is also great, and it's a wonderful hobby, although sometimes it's a bit expensive. So cheers and bye-bye.
To fly up in the sky Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the